hot takes, hot brews, no filter, no fluff. It's the bearded coffee rant, and we've had enough.
Right, let's just sit down, grab a coffee and get this the fuck out our systems. Today, we're going pretty deep. Deep into the horrific, chaotic, lawless world of people with no table manners. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The cafe monsters. The office canteen beasts. The family dinner saboteurs. The ones who chew like they've never seen a jawbone before. Who talk with their mouths full as if the laws of physics do not apply to them. Who make utensils optional and napkins feel like the enemy. And don't tell me you haven't been traumatized by one. We've all been there. You're innocently enjoying your latte, maybe a scone, and then suddenly a human chainsaw starts chewing at the next fucking table. You cannot escape it. You feel it in your very soul. And by the end of this, you'll be second guessing whether to eat again in public. Or at least you'll be laughing bitterly at humanity's decline while clutching your coffee, which frankly is probably the most polite reaction possible. Let's start with the open-mouthed chewers, the absolute nightmare fuel of society. They don't just chew, they perform. You're sitting there, sipping your coffee. Perhaps nibbling on a wee biscuit. And then, BAM! You can see the entire interior of their mouth. Almonds, lettuce, gravy, small piece of luck. Everything is on fucking display. The sounds, lip smacks, tongue slaps, teeth grinding, and occasionally a jaw pop. It's like a fucking horror movie where the monster is your neighbour and the weapon is mastication. That took far too many tries to get correct. And here's the worst part. They seem completely fucking oblivious. Oblivious! You want to scream, but you also avert your gaze politely. And by the time you blink, somehow they've doubled down on the performance. You think, do I leave? Do I intervene? Do I take notes for future trauma counselling? I once sat across from someone at lunch who chewed with their mouth open for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I calculated the amount of lip smacks per bite. It was terrifyingly precise. And that's when I realised open-mouthed chewers are not eating. They're performing some kind of ritualistic anti-civilization rite. And then the talking with the mouthful brigade. These are the people who think that life is too short to wait until they swallow. Swallow. They're mid-conversation, perhaps trying to contribute politely, and suddenly your brain receives an incomprehensible audio horror. And the gestures. Flailing arms, pointing at things, nodding for emphasis. You don't know whether to laugh, cry, or run. The muffled conversation is like listening to someone sing underwater while simultaneously chewing gravel. Once at a work fucking lunch thing that I had to go to, a colleague literally attempted to explain the company's new strategy mid-bite of a BLT. Every word was indecipherable. Every gesture frantic. At one point, tomato and mayonnaise were airborne. Airborne. You can't make it up. And the noisy eaters, fucking hell. Absolute chaos. Some people don't eat. They perform. Forks clanging, knives scraping, spoons tapping like fucking jungle drums in a percussion orchestra dedicated to chaos. Soup, pasta, crisps. You try to eat politely, you think it's maybe the acoustics of the room. But no, this person is auditioning for the title Most Annoying Human in a 5-metre radius, and they're winning. Every fucking bite, a triumph of sound. Every chew, a slap to your soul. And it's never just the food. Drinks have a soundtrack too. Slurping coffee, smacking lips after a sip, exhaling loudly. It's fucking relentless. And you notice your mood is slowly deteriorating and you start plotting your escape plan. Cutlery disasters next. Watching some people eat is like watching a child discovering gravity. Forks stabbed into pasta like pitchforks. Knives brandished like swords. Spoons decorative. I once saw someone trying to eat spaghetti with a fucking teaspoon. Not a fork, not a proper spoon, a teaspoon. Sauce everywhere. Hair, lap, floor. It was modern art. And the best part, they had this triumphant look when a noodle actually made it into their mouth. It was as if they'd unlocked the secrets of the fucking universe. And then we have the finger food anarchists. No plate, chicken wings, direct on a napkin. Fingers coated in sauce, and somehow your table's covered in it too. Napkin, insulting. Etiquette, oppressing. You offer one politely and suddenly look at you as if you've questioned their entire existence.
It's easier this way.
They say, easier. Aye, for you maybe. The rest of us are scraping crumbs off the table while they smile smugly, oblivious to the fucking chaos they've fucking created. Fucking. And then everybody thinks they can multitask while they're eating. Eating whilst texting. Eating whilst typing. Eating whilst gesticulating wildly. You cannot escape one misplaced hand and your coffee, your laptop, maybe even your dignity is in jeopardy. You try to be polite. You try to sip on your latte quietly, but no. They're operating at maximum chaos efficiency. Crumbs invade your keyboard. Sauce slides dangerously close to screens. You start questioning evolution itself, and yet they're very proud of their skills. And I can't do shared food. That's just too fucking far. It's a total war zone. That last slice of cake, gone. The crisps, disappeared. Sandwiches, hoovered. And the excuse?
Oh, I don't think anybody really wanted it.
Really? Humanity invented sharing for this shitbag? You're left staring at empty plates. Mourning civilization's collapse. Well, they grin smugly. The fucking audacity! You almost want to applaud them, but you also want to weep quietly into your coffee. Coffee, tea, soup, doesn't matter. There's always that one person who turns drinking into a decibel assault. And your polite sip suddenly feels like a whisper in a hurricane. You attempt eye contact, hoping for subtle awareness. Nothing. They continue, slurping with gusto. You feel like hiding under the table. And your coffee, well, that's already a victim of psychological damage. Napkin ignorers. Sauce on the chin? Forget about it. Greasy fingers? Never mind. Spilled your drink? Your lap is now a swamp. They look at napkins like they're the enemy. Offer one politely, instant offence. Humanity weeps quietly in corners. And then, for dessert, we've got the slow eaters. They chew, they ponder, stare at their phone mid-bite. And you're left sitting there for 15 minutes, just watching the horror unfold. You finish your coffee, your biscuit, maybe even a second coffee. And they're still wrestling with one croissant. Torture, plain and simple. So there we have it. Open mouths. Talking with your mouth full. Noisy chewing. Cutlery disasters. Finger food anarchy. Multitasking monsters. Shared food chaos. Loud beverages. Napkin neglect. And slow eaters. Humanity distilled into its chaotic essence. Congratulations. You've survived this rant. Hopefully you're still civilised. Still sipping your coffee. Still sane. And that, well, that's worthy of applause. Or at least a long, tired sigh of relief.